young student at Jönköping International Business School. During this video, you will get more information about internship provided by JIBS and how it's carried out. When examining the awareness regarding taking an internship during students' time at JIBS, we have seen there's a lack of information and knowledge regarding the latter mentioned. Therefore, we have conducted a survey to find out more from the students, as well as stated recommendations on how to improve the service.
To determine the awareness and interest in internship by JIBS and what channels are preferable to receive information, we conducted a plan of the marketing research and collected secondary data. The secondary data consisted of information from JIBS webpage, but also information from the Internship by JIBS webpage. This gave us a clear picture of how to proceed further with our investigation. A research survey was conducted in order to collect primary data. More specifically, a questionnaire was designed. This method was chosen because of the limited amount of time and it generated quick results. Close-ended questions were used to collect less chunks of information for us to analyze, which would have been the case if open-ended questions were used. Also, we used a scale response question to measure the intensity of satisfaction among the participants when using Internship by JIBS webpage. Furthermore, we used the Net Promoter Score to analyze whether the students would recommend the Internship by JIBS webpage to their classmates or not. A stratified sample was used to only be able to target JIBS students. This was done in such a way that a division of the different schools at JIU was made to only target JIBS students, but then randomly chosen participants were approached at the school to collect data. It was a convenient way of gathering data in which we could all collect the responses during a very short amount of time. Lastly, primary data in terms of the interview with Stefan Brolin was conducted. Through the interview with Brolin, detailed information about Internship by JIBS and an overview of the case were provided. It provided useful information to the marketing research and gave us a clear understanding of Internship by JIBS.
After reaching out to students to answer our survey, our results were that about 43% were first-year students at JIBS, about a third of the students studied their second year, and the rest both third-year bachelor and first-year master. When asking about what the students would like in addition to their studies, about 51% were interested in studying abroad during a semester, and as much as 46% were interested in doing an internship both domestically and internationally. But it is evident that the majority of the students are not familiar with the Internship by JIBS. As much as 54% are not familiar with the internships, and as much as 74% don't even know where to find the page. Students that had visited the page were able to rate their experience of the page. The results were that 73% are detractors, which means that they are not satisfied with the page and would not recommend it. 23% are passive, which means that they don't really have an opinion about the page. The final 3% are promoters, which means that they would recommend the webpage to other students. The results from the question about the overall interest of doing an internship were that as much as 77% are interested in doing an internship during their studies at JIBS. When investigating what information sources that students would prefer to receive information from, 33% voted for a fair, 29% by webpage, and 22% voted on various sources within social media.
One conclusion to draw from this marketing research is that the awareness of the Internship by JIBS webpage is low, consequently being the main reason of few applications for their internships. If students have no awareness of the internship offered, they will simply not apply. Furthermore, interest among students at JIBS of doing an internship is high, indicating that the lack of applications is not due to lack of interest. Instead, the few applications for internships rather are because of other factors, such as the interference with the studies abroad semester, and the fact that the webpage is difficult for JIBS students to find. So, after conducting the survey and analyzing the answers, we have some recommendations for further improvement within these areas. As mentioned earlier, the students' two most preferable sources to receive information from were through a fair and on a web page. Due to this, we suggest that a more accessible web page, by for instance using a fair, social media, or develop the page would be of high value. Furthermore, when developing the web page, learn by other successful firms providing the same service, examine value-creating activities, and focus on authenticity. An additional recommendation would be to have an internship fair, as well as collaborations with other popular fairs at school, for example, Next Step. This would increase the awareness about Internship by JIBS. Last but not least, if possible, try to implement internship as an addition to studies abroad rather than a substitute.